welcome back to the Connections Show with Stacey Levine Lavely. So excited for everyone to be here today. I have some really cool guests, and this is sort of a passion project for me. I, as you know, have a son with special needs. Most of you know Jagger, and you know Jagger was in a talent show. He forgot some words to let it go. All the kids joined in, and they got him back on track. And I actually have one of the children who were there that night on my show. I am so excited for you to meet him. I have a host from Shrewsbury Media Connections on my show. I have a lovely person who I met years ago when I worked at the Shrewsbury Senior Center, who was a decluttering queen. She's a real estate agent for lakefront property. We have an amazing photographer here who you guys will all know as soon as you meet him. He's amazing. We love him. Newspaper, books, magazines, you name it, he's been there. And another lovely author who is the younger sister of our other friend who will be here. I don't want to say their names yet. And she has written her own book. She plays the violin. She loves math and science. We're so excited to have these people on here. They're all authors, and they are part of something called Kids Read Local. And what that is, it's a campaign to support local creativity in writing. They publish children's and young adult books. I'd love for you guys to make sure later on when you come back and you see below, we're going to have links to their books, to their social media, all that kind of stuff. So please, please, please visit their pages. Read their information. They do demonstrations, so feel free to invite them if you guys have any events going on. It's a really wonderful cause. And you might be saying, this is usually about special needs and resources and so on and so forth. And that's true. And a lot of our kids do love to read. One of the reasons I really wanted to have these authors on. And even more importantly, I think sometimes we forget that not all special needs family only have special needs children. A lot of times they also have neurotypical children. And those children like to do things that read and things like that. But a lot of times, a lot of the time is taken up because the kids who do have special needs might be in therapy. They might need to go to doctor's offices. They may be playing Special Olympic sports. And a lot of times the other kids in the family get tugged along. They have to do stuff. And I think it would be amazing if we could get some of these local authors, some of their books in the kids' hands and start to really, make sure that they're doing something fun while they're already having to be somewhere that sometimes may not be the most motivational place for them. So I think it's really, really important to put a spotlight on these authors because they are local. They'd love to get into the school systems, do some of the level reading, be in the local libraries around, whether it's, here in Shrewsbury or, anywhere, because it's really important just to give people as much exposure as we possibly can to the written word. And it's so, so important. And some of these authors already have their own success. So I'm just thrilled to welcome them. So I'm just going to go around the list, and then we will talk to each one individually. But I do want to say hi, say a little bit about each one, and we'll go from there. So first up, because you're first on the screen, is Fern Nissim. Fern is actually the author of the Little Red Ant Books series. She actually went to the Boston Museum of Fine Arts art school. And she had adapted the first book from something that her father wrote, and she had adapted it for her grandchildren so she could read it to them. So that's really, really, really amazing. So I want to welcome you. So thank you for being here, Fern. I appreciate it. Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, next up, I have the lovely host of Miller Chat. The lovely Robin Miller. She was actually one of my first guests on this. I think you were actually my first guest on our show. We talked about therapy and sport dogs, and we got to meet Woody and her son EJ, and they have written books together as a family. Robin has written her own book, so we're really excited to have her here today. So welcome, Robin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we have the Lee family. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them. So first up, we have Sam Lee, and Sam is the dad. Sam is an incredible award-winning photographer, videographer. I'm sure you have seen his pictures of the beautiful Dean Park, all the different wildlife and the water elements, and his stuff is just incredible, and I just love it. And he's always sharing things that are going on around town, different like moments. I always get a kick when he shares, Jagger pictures and things like that and videos. But he's just always reaching out to everybody in the community. He's been featured in newspapers, magazines, books, online communities. He's just all over the place. He's his own little local celebrity. So welcome, Sam. You're muted.
Hi. Hi.
Awesome. Hi. And next to him, we have David, his son. And most of you who have ever been to anything in Shrewsbury, I'm sure, have seen David. I think he's been doing this since you were 7 years old, was it? And he's been at all the craft fairs and Spirit of Shrewsbury, and he's been like all over the place in the community and surrounding towns. I know he's been up in Worcester at Sprinkler Factory and just all kinds of different things. So he has written a sci-fi series, Adventures of Danny Hoopenbiller. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Like I said, he's been writing since 7 years old, and he just is such an inspiration to so many kids who, have dreamed of being able to write things. And he is just so inspiring to them. He talks to them about it. He's very active in the community. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it, David.
Great,
of course,
great to be here.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're here. It's going to be really nice to chit chat. And last up, of course, and not least, the lovely Laura Lee. She has written also, she is another author in the family. They have so much talent. It's scary in that family. And she has written a book called Two Worlds, and that's a fantasy action adventure trilogy. She is on the speech team. She, like I said, plays violin. She's a math and science person. And she's another one who also does a lot of community events. She collaborates with local libraries and also bookstores. And she talks about her writing journey. So welcome, Laura. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So basically what I'm going to do is just kind of chat with everybody and touch base regarding, what's inspired you, what brought you here, talking about your books, all that kind of information. So does anyone want to kind of lead off, or do you want me to pick on you and be like the teacher?
We can start.
All right. Go ahead. Take it away, Sam or Dave.
All right, so I can go.
I can go first. Let me find my book here. So as you know, I like taking pictures. So one of my favorite subjects is animals.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the past like 10, 15 years, I went to zoos and a lot of different places. They have like farms and in Massachusetts or even in Hong Kong, and they have a lot of animals that is really cute. And I took their pictures, and then I create a book with all these animals. If you can see it, yeah. And all these animals, on each page, I add a bubble, like a speech bubble there, that whoever read this book, they can imagine what they are talking about. So it's a good activity for children, especially for children that need some more social skills training, or you want them to be more interactive with people. So you can open this book and then start a conversation and create a story with all these different animals in the book. So there are 60 of them. So you have plenty of chances. It's like a family activity.
Oh, wow.
And also another special feature of my book is it has 6 languages.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's
So,
amazing. Now, where do you do like Kindle or something? Is that where people would get that?
yeah,
Okay.
Kindle or paperback. Yeah, they are both available. And you can see we have English, we have Chinese, Spanish, Japanese, German, and French.
That's incredible. So it's an immersive experience for the person reading as well as for the child.
Right. So you can
Nice.
also learn some
Hmm.
simple language, right, or the animal names, and also introduce international culture to your kids or your family.
That is genius. I love that. That
Yeah.
is so cool.
So
Now,
that's what, yeah.
how did that even come to you? Like why did that even how was that like inspired? Like what inspired that?
Oh, first of all, I always want to share my pictures. So one of the way I'm thinking would be put it on a book so that people can enjoy it, watch it. And then I want to add some element to make it unique. And then I think about, because I speak more than one language. So what if other people also, understand other culture and also have a chance being introduced to other languages when they are young? So I think maybe if I add some interactive element on the book, like the speech bubble, then it will spark some imagination from the kids or from the family that I want to have a more interactive activity with their kids or with their guests or with their class, or even a team building activity for a company or for an organization. So there are plenty of opportunity you can use this book.
Absolutely. I mean, I can even see special needs family like putting some Velcro in some of the bubbles and getting like the like those like a little square or something of like when you laminate something and you can wipe it off and reuse it. Like I could see someone actually doing something like that, and then each time it's like a different conversation, and it can also help neurotypical kids be able to work on their handwriting as well. Like I can see so many different uses for that. That's amazing. I love that.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and
incredible.
also thank you. And last year I also published the second book, and that's actually a coloring book, which is a companion of this book. Like this book, all the picture are color, like full color picture. The coloring book is actually an outline of these pictures.
Okay.
Illustrated by Laura. So she spent like a whole month.
Nice. That's amazing. Do you have a copy of that one that we can see?
Yeah, we want to show you a screen.
So this is a cover. As you can see, there are still the empty speech bubbles, but now we have outlines of the animals. So now it serves the same function of before of learning new languages, but now you can also color in the animals. So it's a little more interactive. We have some preview pages. They're sideways, but you can still see this is so we have the languages. If this was oriented in landscape, they would be on the left of the page.
Okay.
Yes. And then we still have the image, which you can color in and write in dialogue.
That's amazing because again, it's back to reinforcing what you're learning, because as you're coloring it and things like that, they're still being exposed to like the languages, the name of what it is in English, and then in the other, the Spanish, French, Chinese, German, and Japanese. So I think it's one of those things that, you know, a lot of times when you're coloring, you go back. It's not like you always sit down for one session to color. So I think it's great that it reinforces that. And also it's going to create a picture in the child's mind, because they're going to imagine, you know, what they've actually colored. And then that's going to correlate for them. So they'll always kind of have that mental image of an alpaca. Oh yeah, I made that when I was, you know, 6 or whatever. I love that idea. It's such a cool concept. Thank you. So keep going, Laura.
Thank you. We also have on our website, we have the original photographs, which Sam photographed. You can see the original photos to help color the pages if you don't know the colors.
Oh, okay.
They're
Nice.
loading now. So if you want, if the people coloring this book would like a reference to look at, or they just want to see how close they were to the original coloring, all of the photos, all of the original photographs that these drawings were, these outlines were based on are here.
And also the illustration, the line drawing are kind of complex in certain pages. So this book is not only for kids at early age. So actually anyone above maybe 6 years old, they can actually use this book. Yeah, even adult may be interested, because there are some picture, they are pretty complex. They have background and they have very detailed lines.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Now, how would you like, are these the kind of, the pictures, are they like the kind that you use like with the gel pens, or like, are some of them more geared towards say younger kids where you're doing the crayons for the fine motor versus, you know, as you get older, the gel pens and stuff? Because again, that helps with, you know, fine motor and concentration and relieving stress and so on and so forth. So
some of the pages are more complicated, like as you can see, the alpaca,
yeah, the zebra, yeah,
it's more simpler, just more open space
Right.
as compared to the zebra, which has more like narrower spaces to color in.
Correct. Yeah, I can definitely see that being, in, you know, for any age, because depending on, you know, what your activity level is and things like that. So that's really cool. These are amazing.
Yeah, then this is a larger version of the same.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, are these sold as like actual books, or are they just like coloring pieces?
It's sold as a paperback book on Amazon.
Oh,
Or
okay.
on our website.
Oh, okay.
And if anyone want to try out, they can actually go to this website, which you will put it on the slide at the end, right?
Yeah. So it's going to be in YouTube, everyone. Yeah.
Right. And they can actually download these pages. We have sample pages for, it's free for download. Yeah. These are free copy. So they can try out, for example, 10 pages before they think about maybe go to Amazon and get a copy, a new copy. Yeah.
Nice. Now, what's the website?
Infomages.square.site.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And is there anything else they would need? Do they need to know your names or anything?
On this website,
you can navigate.
Yeah.
So
okay.
you go to shop by author, or you eventually find it if you organize it correctly. So if, like, for example, for Sam, he has his own author page and his books are here.
Right.
Oh, perfect.
And actually, you know what? The easiest way is to sort by age.
Oh, okay. So if everyone's seeing this, so yeah, so you have ages as well as being able to go by the author. So it's David Lee, Sam Lee, and Laura Lee. Are you all on these pages?
Yes, we are. And then also, as you can see, we sorted our books by age group as well. So
Nice.
if people are looking for something for a very particular age group, they can find it here.
Yeah, it's all there. Yeah.
Amazing. So we're going to have this underneath the video here. So take a peek underneath. And if you're interested in these kind of coloring books or any of their books, which we're going to continue talking about, make sure you're going down below, click the link and give these amazing authors a like, a follow, download the pictures, see if you like them, purchase the books. Let's, support our own, right in our own backyard. Great. Thank you so much, Sam. And Laura, since you're there, you're up next. Thank you. All right, Laura. So tell me about your trilogy. I can't wait to hear about this.
Yeah. So this is my first book, titled Two Worlds, as the rest of my series is titled. My series, it's a fantasy trilogy, and it basically focuses on conflicts between different species, like elves, sorceresses, dwarves, humans. My first book talks about a human girl, a human teenager, who is brought to another strange world filled with elves and dwarves, and she has to find her way to come home while a war is brewing, like a fantastical war. And then my second and third book, actually, can I share my screen again? I have more updated covers there.
Yep, absolutely. I think you're good to go.
Yeah, I should do. Hold on.
There it is. Coming.
Yeah. So this is my second book, which changes perspectives to sorceresses. And this focuses on a different conflict between sorceresses who have power over different elements. And my third book is sort of a continuation of this. I would say it's a very fun book. It has a lot of action, humor, and it can be serious at times, but I think it's a pretty fun ride. Just the cover for my third book.
Now, what age group would you say your books are for?
I wrote my first book when I was 10, and I finished my trilogy around 13. So around the age range. If on our website, my books are ages 9 to 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you mind me asking you how old you are now?
I'm 16.
You're 16. Okay. So you've been writing a while.
Yeah. And I'm actually working on a new novel right now.
Okay. So, so now do you tend to go to like different fairs and things like that with your books? I mean, pre-COVID, of course. Like how did you used to go through your processes and like come up with the ideas, for the trilogy? Like, was it something you just knew you were going to write a series, or did you just kind of felt your first book was unfinished and then you kind of continued on?
Well, I first got into writing because of my brother, because he was writing before I was, seeing that he's older. And I was reading a lot of fantasy. I was really into fantasy at that time, especially like Harry Potter. And I really wanted to do something of my own, sort of like that. So this was originally meant to be a trilogy by itself, and I was going to end the story there. And then I realized that it would fit better as a book by itself. And then when I finished this, I was thinking I still wanted to continue the story, maybe from perspectives of other characters, because I felt like this was somehow incomplete as just a single story, and I could expand on it more with this new universe and everything. So that's how I wrote 2 more books to complete the trilogy.
That's awesome. Now, is your next endeavor, your next project, is that going to be is it going to have any ties back to the trilogy, or is it just going to be like a brand new project?
It's going to be brand new. I'm going to start diving into young adult, more serious content, I would suppose. And I've started looking at science fiction, and this will probably be a 2-book series, I'm hoping, but it will not have any ties to my original trilogy.
Okay, fair enough. You want to give us a little sneak peek of what you're doing now?
Well, it's going to be something sort of like a mystery action thriller.
Okay.
The premise is that everything is made of code. And to support the rapidly growing population of Earth, which is overpopulated, it's polluted, it can't really support human life that well anymore, new planets are coded into existence. And the human population has thrived with these new worlds. But suddenly people start disappearing. So people feel like it may have something to do with this new code, this really powerful coding language that people have been starting to learn how to use. So there's this intern who works at a technology company who decides to like dive deep into this and be a detective. And she uncovers a lot of spicy plot.
That is so cool. Oh my God, I can't wait to read it. Now I have to read all the trilogy and this. Oh my goodness, I have to catch up on my reading for sure. So in the future, I mean, is this something you see that, you know, you'd like to continue doing the writing? Is it something, you know, like, you know, once you get out of school, in college and everything, is this something you want to continue, or, you know, is this just kind of like, it's just fun right now?
I think at least into my college years, I definitely want to keep writing. And then depending on how much time I have, like writing has always had a special place in my heart, and like creating these really like interesting worlds and really unique characters, I think. And I don't see myself stopping writing for now. And I would hope to keep doing that for as long as possible.
Awesome. That's so great. Well, I want to thank you for joining me, and we're going to come back to you in a little bit. But next up, we're going to have your brother pop in, since we already have you guys going. So
Thank you.
Fern and Robin, you're not off the hook yet.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, David. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
I've actually read some of your books.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read Laura's next. So
Yeah, she's a very accomplished writer.
You guys both, you're so amazing. I mean, I remember seeing you at like the craft fairs at Shrewsbury, at the Spirit of Shrewsbury, and all these different festivals. And I was just like amazed at like how proficient you were at such a young age. So tell me, like, where did that even come from? Like, how did you decide to even like, you know, jump into, you know, writing and sharing it and being comfortable enough in front of, I mean, the poise you have, I guess, this is what I'm trying to say, when you were talking to adults was just amazing. I remember like the senior center director and I were like talking to you, and I think you were like 8 years old or something at the time, maybe 9. And you were just so poised, and you just knew so much about what you were doing. And you just had so much like, I don't know, just passion for it. Like, how did that start? Where did that come from?
I think a large part of it, I'd say, was 2 things, especially. First was I grew up with a big passion for a lot of, I love to watch movies. I love to read books. I say this a lot. My favorite author was Roald Dahl. I read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I reread it. I read the sequels. And I think that's a big part of why I was so passionate about writing and passionate about sharing my process and kind of bringing people onto sort of this journey with me for writing. And the second part was I had a great amount of support from my family, and they encouraged me to put myself out there, and supported me, and gave me sort of just time and paid attention and helped me out with editing my stories. And I think that was a huge part as to why I was able to, like you said, have the amount of poise I did, especially at such a young age. And naturally that as I've grown up, I've been working on sort of improving my skills and learning sort of what things I could improve on. And so I think, yeah, it's a constant state of learning. That's what the writing journey is. And it's a really fun challenge.
Absolutely. So why sci-fi? Like, why did you pick that particular genre versus like just regular fiction or what have you?
Well, probably the best answer I can give is that science fiction is just simply what I grew up with. I just naturally, I liked reading about dinosaurs, for example.
Mhm.
I liked reading comic books, and so science fiction was all around my life. And That's a huge part about why I decided to write science fiction. I have recently, as of late, I have been trying to expand my reading horizons, and taken books from fantasy, from contemporary literature, from other genres, and because I also do believe now that reading a diverse collection does improve your writing and like just in general opens up your world.
Yeah, for sure, because it will expand those horizons. And you
Yeah, yeah.
also, if I remember correctly, didn't you do something with MIT recently with
Oh
their
yes,
science
I was
program?
in a summer program called the MIT Beaverworks Summer Institute.
Mhm.
I was pretty amazed. It was a selective program. I was amazed I got in, and that was where I got to practice some projects in artificial intelligence and machine learning, and I was able to sort of discover what that field was about in its applications in computer science and data science. And actually, it has helped me sort of determine what sorts of things I might be interested in academically in college. That was a big part about sort of what I got a lot of takeaways from there that they'd be interested to learn further.
Yeah, that was amazing. Now, do you think that will help you as you continue on your writing journey? A lot of, I'm sure, as you were when you were younger, as you're writing like the science fiction and things like that, a lot of it, is just imagination and things like that, and things you've learned and what have you. But do you think that's going to bring it to a different level because now you know more things about like the engineering piece and different things like that kind of build on that science math kind of continuums?
Absolutely. I think it helps a lot. It'll help a lot with obviously making the story seem more legitimate because they're science fiction. And Also, to be a scientist is to sort of get some insight that would help definitely with writing sort of the personality, the personas of scientists that are
Mhm.
right. And I think it's also just a great, it's just a great way for me to have a wide variety of focuses and kind of can always be learning.
Awesome. So now what's your next project? What do you have on the horizon?
My next project is actually going to sort of the science fiction elements are going to be a little bit more subdued. It's I'm trying to write sort of a young adult book. Currently, I'm 18. I'm trying to cater to people of my own age. Because you may have noticed that my previous works are mostly for elementary schoolers, middle schoolers,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
so I've been doing a bit of research into young adult books and what themes they cover and sort of how they are, how the reasons they're so relevant today. And I've been working on my own story. It's a paranormal thriller set in a small New England town.
Mhm.
And it regards a group of teenagers as well as some other individuals around the town who are how their lives are sort of impacted by like a sudden paranormal occurrence. And I think it'll be pretty good actually. Although it is a pretty big sort of, I'm experimenting with a big change to my style. So hopefully I come out as a much more mature writer than I was before. That is my goal with this one.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just, I mean, it's amazing because it's probably nice to take your readers from back when they were in elementary school and middle school, like you said, and bringing them along this journey with you as you mature as a writer and as your books become more involved and more complex, and you bring more complex issues into them. And now, is that something you want to continue doing as you get a little bit older? Are you looking to eventually branch into adult, or do you want to kind of stay more in that elementary kind of young adult sort of genre?
I think honestly the first thing you talked about, I think that's sort of a thing I've always wanted to do, take people on a journey with me and
Mm-hmm.
sort of more I get older, the more sort of life experience I have, the more I can write about, and like to sort of be able to look back and see what a progression. I think that is a unique sort of thing that is very hard to accomplish, and I'd love to be able to do that.
Awesome. I mean, you have such an incredible vision, and we will be staying in tune with you as you go along your journey. And, we're there to support you and all that. So again, David Lee also is going to be in the comments below. We're going to make sure we have links to his books and his social media. So please feel free to reach out to any of the Lees. They like to do demonstrations. They like to do community events. They like to share their journey and share their stories with you. So David, thank you for being here. We're going to come back to you guys in a little bit. And next we're going to kick it to the lovely Fern Nissom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bye.
Thank you so much, Stacey. Thank you.
Welcome. So Miss Fern has the Little Red Ant series. So I'm going to ask you, tell me about it.
Sure.
What is a Little Red Ant?
Well, I'll tell you where it all started. My dad wrote a book, not a book, but a story for my children when they were 5 and 7 years old, way back. And he wanted to tell them the story of how his family came to America. They had faced a lot of adversity, and they had traveled over mountains, and as many immigrant families did way back in the day. And they just didn't get it, of course, because they were very little. So he decided to create this little ant called Anteline. And Anteline actually becomes the symbol of his family and goes through, the protagonist, and goes through all the different things that she has to do to come to America and search for her freedom. So that was written a long time ago, in 1977, actually. And my dad asked me to illustrate it, but at the time I was just too busy, and I'd been through art college and so forth, but my life took me in different directions. So I never really got around to it. So now I have grandchildren that are 5 and 7 years old. And I said, I've got to take this story and I've got to modify it and adapt it to today and create something that they can understand. So that's what happened. And I created this story called Anteline. Anteline's Brave Adventure is the first in a series of 3 books. And in this story, what I did is I took the original story and I put it into a rhyming fashion, playing with the word ant. So for example, if I just read you the first couple of sentences here.
Yeah, please.
Okay, Anteline. This is the tale of Anteline, the serve ant. An unhappy little red ant. She lived on an anthill far from your home, ruled by a mean tyrant. So you can kind of get the gist of it.
Cute, I like it.
Right.
That's
so
fun.
the idea, and here's the idea. At the
Ooh.
beginning of the story, I created a map so you could see her travels. So basically what happens is she embarks on this journey. And the bottom line is, as we begin to develop this, I realized what we're really writing about is all about freedom. It's the whole point of freedom and the whole journey that so many families go through to come to America and to have freedom. So that's where the first of the series started. I illustrated most of it. I also worked with my friend Sue Fleshman. She lives in Marlborough, and we met at the Shrewsbury Art Society. And we decided to illustrate this together. I know we're going to put some pages up later, but just to give you a sense, I did all of the botanicals in the background. Sue created the character in the foreground.
They're beautiful, just gorgeous.
Thank you. And the story just goes on, and she meets all kinds of characters along the way that, for example, and again, these characters, I had to kind of modify them for what my dad had done originally because they're really not politically correct, unfortunately. But for example, she meets characters that, let me just read you. Soldiers thought Anteline as she hid in the bush. She peeked to take another look. They were all dressed the same with white aprons and hats. Why, in my country, that's called a cook. They were singing about all kinds of food, roast beef, corned beef, and hash, and waved their antennae in the air and wriggled their funny mustache. This is the colony of exotic gourmets for all that love good food, for delicious wines and cheese soufflés. We always must be in the mood. We cook it and eat it all day long. All must be participants. The only ones that matter here are us, the restaurants. And again, playing with
so cute. Yeah, that's fun. That's really fun to carry that through the whole book.
A lot of fun for it. But the bottom line really is this is the first in the three books that I'm writing. The first one is all about freedom. The second one is about tolerance and inclusion and accepting yourself for who you are. And the third one is going to be a how-to book on how to create a circle of friends. So, because what happens in the second book, Anteline, who's actually found her way to freedom, now decides she wants to discover who she is. So in order to find out who she is, she goes to the ancestry again. And she discovers that she is, you know, has a whole heritage and she could be all kinds of things. But the bottom line here is in the end, she decides that she wants to not only discover herself, have her true discovery, but she also wants to meet with others because everybody has a story to tell about themselves. And the idea is that everyone, if you listen and learn about everyone else, then you will be accepting of them. So my stories really it didn't start out this way. See, I see it's really funny how it kind of evolved. Because I was inspired in the beginning and because I wrote about freedom to start, it just was a natural evolution, especially reflecting the times right now, that not only do we need to find out who we are, but we need to learn and teach children how to accept themselves for who they are, and then to accept others for who they are. So when I put all this together and I realized that really the journey that I have been on is to really help to focus on tolerance and inclusion and acceptance. So I decided the third book would be the creation of a community circle. And it's called Anteline's Community Circle. I have art I'm working on right now, but I have nothing to show you today. And it's a how-to book with coloring and so forth in it on how any child can create their own community circle by involving other friends and other people and accepting them. It has a simple lesson in it. There are three things. One is look, listen, learn. You remember when in the old days, in my old days, you say, look, listen, look before you cross the street, go for it. Well, this is look, listen, learn. And I'm building this story on those three things. If kids would only listen and pay attention when someone's talking to them today, they would learn so much about each other and about themselves. And I think it really helps. I think it's a unique position that I think a lot of us are trying to do this, but these three books will give someone a tangible book to work with. I'm targeting it really for workshops, for schools, for groups that are trying to deal with, adversity and try to reverse the situation and have more acceptance and tolerance and inclusion. So what I've done on my website is I've created the means of not only try to promote the books, but also to make them available for fundraising. Mm-hmm. So I'm selling them at a lesser price than they are on Amazon for fundraising purposes. But even further to that goal, what I'm trying to do is set up an advisory group. And I know that a lot of towns are trying to do that right now. I already have a lot of interest from some teachers, child psychologists, just parents, and folks that really want to be involved with teaching tolerance and acceptance to children. And I think that it has a unique message in the sense that so much of this is just fluffed over a lot. We all say, we need to do this, we need to do this. But the bottom line is that, you need the tools to do it with. So I'm hoping that this will help.
Yeah, definitely. And especially with my audience, so many of the kids who do have special needs and things like that are often not included because whether it be because they physically can't do something or mentally can't connect or just don't know how to make friends and things like that. And I think what you said is so important in your second book, especially. It's like, if you can't accept yourself, you're never going to be able to accept anybody else. And I think that's the most important thing, is really being able to, I hate to say this, but get off the electronics to a degree and really kind of sit with yourself, be who you are, know who you are, and then it's going to make it easier to see that there are so many similarities regardless in so many, relationships, whether it's, an adult like a parent or in a teacher-child relationship or or what have you. And I love the fact that you have a workshop that's then going to take that to the next level and make like a roadmap. Like, this is, first we have to do this, and we do this, and we do this. And, inclusion or acceptance or what have you is going to be the goal at the end of the day. And that's just like, it's such a beautiful series because you are going through that. You're seeing what it's like to be different. You're understanding what it's like to take that difference and, create, somewhat of a community around it into that third, workbook and things like that. I think it's amazing. I love that story so much. Thank you so much for being here, Fern.
It's a mission. I'm on this mission now, and I hope
you really are.
Will really join in and help, because it's it's become a real passion. Obviously I'm at a point now in my life where I'm semi-retired. I'm still doing the real estate, as you mentioned, but this has become so important to me because I just think that there's such a need for this. And I've looked a lot like the wonderful Lee kids. Now I'm trying to do research like they're doing, but I'm doing research in a different place. I'm doing research to try to find out what is out there, what's out there that's available for the mainstream that follows a mindset and a flow that will take you through the various steps of understanding first where your family is from, all about freedom, find out where your family's from, who they are, and then learning how to take that and to move it to the next level, to really find out about other people and who they are and accept them. And I just wanted to read you. Do I have another minute? Can I just read you this?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Of course.
So once Angeline has been to the ancestry and she has found out her friend Jubilant, and she went with her friend Jubilant, and she was led through the ancestry by her friend Taller Ant. Okay, play on words there. Someday I might be a debutante, a queen to be, or perhaps a teacher, an inventor. That's me. Maybe I'll explore science and art with my new friends. I'll make a fresh start. But for now, I know what I want to do. I just decided, and it's all quite new. So here she's understanding. She's beginning to understand who she really is. I'll create a place where all can hear. Everyone has a story to share. We will gather to listen and learn from each other. The family tales will tell one another. Our ancestry will fill with information. To celebrate each background will be an inspiration. What a great idea, said her friend Jubilant. Well, we all can help, chimed old Tolerant. No matter our differences, as stories are told, we will listen to everyone, young and old. I see it all now. It's clear to me. Listening to everyone's history is the most important discovery. And here she's jumping up and down, and she's
nice. That's beautiful.
And each book ends with a little message like, did you ever wonder, like Angeline, where you came from? Did you ever think about how you happen to be here and about your, and it kind of does some thought-provoking questions at the end. Both of them do. And the third one will also.
So that'll be nice, because then they'll be able to journal about that and kind of, go through that process and things like that. So that's amazing. Well, I'm honored that you came on to chat about this. So stick around, because we're going to come back to you in the wrap up too, but I'm going to shoot it over to Robin, because I want to make sure that we get her, and Patience, who has just joined us. So I want to make sure I get to everybody. So welcome, Robin Miller.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. You're always wonderful to have.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to talk about my book, which is about special needs.
Yeah.
Playgroup Time. And I'm just going to discuss the other one briefly, and then I have to get off. I have to go back to work. But anyway, so Playgroup Time is the first book on the market that talks about children attending early intervention playgroup. When I adopted my son was evaluated. He wasn't eligible, but they talked about this playgroup, and I asked them, do they have any literature on it or something like this? And they said no. So I was totally lost. I didn't know anything about the playgroup. So this book is about my son's adventure in playgroup, meeting a new person, and having fun. It's about kids with or without disabilities, from babies to 2 years old. So I've been trying to market this to the early intervention people, to give to their clients who don't know anything about early intervention playgroups. Correct. And early intervention is obviously growing around the United States and around the world. So I wanted to have something picturesque. A story, a nice little story. It's only like 1 or 2 lines each, that shows about what playgroup is like when they go for an hour and a half. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I love that. Jagger actually did take part in that because, as you know, he was diagnosed very early. And I remember kind of going in and not really knowing what that was about. And I was a hover mother and I didn't want to leave him, but they're like, no, you need to go and sit with the moms and go talk to the moms and things like that. And it was the best thing in the world for me.
Absolutely.
I didn't realize like that sometimes I had to separate from him. And I think being able to show them the pictures, regardless of what the child, what's going on. Even if they don't understand the words, at least they can understand pictures and things like that on some level to the best of their ability. And I think it will give a lot of families a lot of comfort. Have you like gone for any grants or anything that you'd be able to, bring your book to, that you can maybe get some funding so you could provide that through like early interventions and, doctors' offices or anything like that?
Well, since COVID, doctors' offices don't have books for kids anymore.
Oh, okay.
And early intervention is now not in person as some of them have gone out of business because people don't want to do online. I'm hoping when this passes that this would be an opportunity to have something in the waiting room for early intervention for people to learn more about it. Because for me, I didn't know anything about it. And then when I talked to other parents about it, they were so afraid to talk about their kid going to early intervention. It was such a stigma.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? It's fun. Kids are kids. This is where they don't care who each other is. Whether they're a person of color or biracial, which EJ is, or black, or they have a disability or not, they're kids, they're babies.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
They're babies. We had kids with autism, we had kids with Down syndrome, we had kids across the board that went. And the book illustrates that in here. So I'm hoping I'll get an every early intervention provider when COVID is over, because now, as you know, you can't leave anything in the waiting room because of germs.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'm even thinking like if you had some kind of a grant that like a doctor, once your kid is diagnosed or something like that, whether it's a neuropsych or what have you, kind of that, like, for lack of a better word, the welcome to this world packet. Here you go. Like, don't feel stigmatized when the people at EI do recommend something like this. Because it's kind of like, well, why does my kid have to, like, why are they taking data on him? Da, 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 da. It's really overwhelming. And I think something like that could, like we were saying, like walk the kid through, but also the parent, like, okay, this isn't like such a weird thing that's going on in your life and other people do it. And there are people who can help you, get through this initial piece and, understanding what it is. I love the fact you did that. That's incredible. And then you also had another one, I believe, called.
Yes. This is the second book my son and I did. My son has ADHD.
Okay.
And even though he may have problems in writing, the only reason why he does in school is because he gets bored. That happens. They get bored. So he's written his second book with me. This is called The Runaway.
Yep.
And this is the second to the series. So I wanted to show kids out there that kids with ADHD, if you put their mind to it, they could tell stories. So I typed it, and he told me his story. And I want people to know that even though children may have ADHD, doesn't mean that they're lazy. They're creative. It's just that you have to engage them. And I know the school systems around the United States feel otherwise, but if you give a child something they are compassionate about, no matter where they're from in life, they will be compassionate and be creative and create something unique.
Yep. That's so true.
So that's really important. And I'm trying to get this in the school system like we all are, not as where they have reading levels per se, but more like a choice book for kids to read.
Cool.
And also to know that a child with ADHD wrote it.
Yeah,
so
that's know, amazing.
It is. So they know that they have opportunities. We unfortunately in the schools across the United States, we don't optimize the kids who have so-called disabilities, so to speak. We need to get on their talent, strength.
Yep, absolutely. And uncover that. I think that's so important. I know you said you had to get back to work. So
yes, but I just wanted to let everybody know it's on a Facebook page, Playgroup Time, and Woody, what's the service this book is on with the other book that we have? Yep. And if anybody has any questions, they can contact Stacy. And I appreciate this opportunity.
Yep. And episode 1, actually, EJ read to us quite a bit out of that. So thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate you being here. I know you have to jump off, so I'm going to let you head out. And again, thank you. As I said, all these links are going to be below. So if any of this is piquing your interest, please, please, please support these authors, help them get into the schools, help them get into the libraries, bookstores, whatever you can, because these are amazing books from amazing people. So thank you so much, Robin. I'm going to shoot it over to you. Hello, Patience. You have to unmute, hon.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
how are you? Welcome, welcome. So tell us a little bit about what you're working on, what your project is.
All right. Thank you so much for squeezing me in. I'm also at work, so I was like, oh, I want to. Yes, thank you for the opportunity for squeezing
me in. Of course.
My name is Dr. Patience Hemenway. I'm a 5-time best-selling author, Amazon best-selling author, and my daughter is also an author, and she just released her book, and her book is on her journey through karate, resilience, and all that, and she also has a coloring book to help children to affirm themselves, because in spite of all the gold medals that she has achieved, there is still something inside that comes out once upon a time and lets her think that she is not enough. And so she wrote the book for herself. And if she, being a national champion in AAU and in USA NKF and still feeling this way, she's like, I want other people to know that apart from all the medals put aside, we are still humans. And sometimes you don't feel like getting up to do anything. So she just wanted to share her story and how she psychs herself to do that. I was really happy, Stacy, for the conversation that just happened between Fran and Robin right now, because as a parent, I have a son. He is now 7 years old. I had to think because they grow so fast. Yep. So when he was growing up, for the first 3 or 4 years of his life, we went to May Street in Worcester for playgroup because, of course, he was speech delayed. He couldn't speak, and it was a scary time because, as you know, I didn't want my child to be labeled, the stigmatization, and nobody introduced us to anything. They just said, oh, well, she has to start early intervention. What are we intervening here? So it's really, really important that they let Robin's book and all the authors here, their books should be spoken about, and parents who have children who are going through different stages should feel comfortable to even speak about it. And I like what you said, Stacey, when you go to those playgroups, you get to leave the child in a room with the experts and you get to go play somewhere else and speak with adults of what you're going through and all that. It was really amazing. And I want to just take this one moment to give a shout out to all the special need teachers, facilitators, companies, whatever. You make life easy. So we thank you so much for all you do. If you're hearing this, thank you. Because there is this lady who, her name is Jen. I don't remember her last name. It's been a while. She comes to our house. After the playgroup, she also comes to the house to work with him and all that. So it has been an amazing journey. So I have my heart, and the little that I felt, it was a strange world to just be in. So I was thankful that she was in our corner to help us during that time. But for now, if you can read a book like any of the authors have here, it will really help. So here comes my part to your question about me. I am an author on wellness. Okay, so I deal mostly with breath work. And these kids, I work with people who have autistic children, and they ask me, Patience, we want them to be able to just stay calm a little bit. So I send them spirometers. It's like a toy, but in the hospital, it's not a toy, but there are toys so the kids will learn how to play with it and then practice breathing. So if anybody is watching, Stacy, for a second, can I demonstrate a simple exercise that people can do to just calm down? And I mean everybody, whether you are on the spectrum or we are all on the spectrum, to tell you the truth. You have to just decide which way you are. So we're going to do the hot cocoa breathing right now. It is very easy right now. It's cold outside. So you grab something, pretend that you're holding a cup. Everybody do that so that people can see that. So just put your hands together. Yes, okay? And then bring your nose close to it and inhale through your nose. Like imagine that it's coming up. Okay, so inhale, inhale. And then hold for a little while you are just imagining all the steam going through your nose. This time your heart is full with gratitude that you have the sense of smell and your glands are so happy that you're doing this. So now you're going to exhale to blow the cocoa because it's hot. So exhale with me, nice and slow, okay? No rushing, let's do it. Beautiful. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, breathe in the hot cocoa. Inhale, let's go. 1, 2, 3. At this time, you are feeling it going through your neck and your shoulders. Every part of you is relaxing and saying, thank you for this little exercise. Now let's exhale and blow the cocoa. One more time and the last time. Inhale through your nose. This cocoa smells so good. Hold it for a little while. And then imagine all the power and all the energy and how unique you are. And blow this hot cocoa. Let's blow it. Good job, everyone. This is so relaxing. You can do it anywhere you are, whether you're standing, as I was standing, and some of you were sitting and you were able to do it. Moms, you can do it for yourself when you feel like it's getting overwhelming and you do not know what to do. And the child can also do it with you. Because like I said, no matter where you are on the spectrum, we all have a heart, we have lungs, we have everything. It's all in there together. So the benefits of breath work is beyond, and I can't even finish explaining it right now, but I just wanted to leave you with that simple thing that you can do. Put your hands together in a prayer form or however you want to hold it. Inhale and then exhale. And one more thing that Robin said that I want to piggyback on Stacey is that she said, no matter what your child is, they are very creative. So tap into that part. And there is a breath work for that. And if you guys would just indulge me, so by the time someone just watches this, they will have 2 things that they can do for themselves to calm down and to activate that creative part of their child or themselves. Because I know Fen has some illustrations that she needs to do. So I want to leave her with one more breath work that she can do to activate that part. So everyone indulge me and put your hand on your right nostrils, block it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through the left nostril. What we're doing is that when you inhale through the left nostril, you are activating the right brain, and that part is for creativity. Oh my goodness, who doesn't want to be creative? I see Laura is ready, like I'm ready. So let's go. Let's hold that nostril, and on my count of 3, let's inhale nice and slow. Okay, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job. Hold it for a little while, okay? No rushing here. We have over 4 million alveoli, air sacs in there, so they all need to be filled, okay? It takes a little while. Now, exhale again through that same left nostril, okay? Let's go slower than before. Exhale. You're doing a great job. Let's try one more time. Let's activate the right brain one more time. Let's go. Inhale through the left nostrils. Hold it for a little while. Exhale whenever you're ready. Let's go. One last time for good measure. We are activating the creative juices in our right hemisphere of the brain. Let's go. Inhale through the nose. Hold for a while. Exhale when you're ready, through the nose. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much. I know I can see the relaxation in your eyes because I feel it. it relaxes you, your brain, your eyes, your muscles, everywhere, and your organs are thanking you, but they cannot speak English. They speak their own language, okay? So I just want to say thank you. And if you want to follow us, if you have questions, if you want us to come over to have this experiment in person or on Zoom with your team or your children, anyhow you want to, just reach out to us. My name is Dr. Patience Hemenway. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on everywhere. You can find me, YouTube, LinkedIn, anywhere, okay? And if you want to follow my daughter Grace and get one of her books, the book is called I Am Dynamite and I Am Becoming, because that girl is dynamite. And then she has a coloring book. She has a coloring book to go with it for affirmation, to know that no matter how great you are, there are times when you feel low and you need to speak life into yourself to pick yourself back up and keep going. Thank you so much, Stacy. God bless you all.
Oh, thank you so much, Patience. So I guess we're just going to wrap up because I know we've been on a really long time. We're probably going to have to split this into a couple episodes. But this is the Kids Read Local. Okay, this is the name of the organization. Patience is from there. Fern, David, Sam, and Laura Lee. Also Robin Miller, who was here earlier. They have a lot of people that are involved in this. And we want to make sure that we're getting the word out about this local author consortium of sorts, I guess. And I'd love to have all of you back on future episodes, even alone, and just really kind of delve in even a little bit deeper to what you're doing and things like that. I think it'll be a lot of fun to see where your journey is and everything, and be able to do all of that. All of their information is going to be below if you're watching this on YouTube. So please, please, please reach out, follow them, like them, all that kind of stuff. I am going to shoot back to you guys quickly and just have you guys say, any final thoughts you have. So I'm going to start with you, Fern, this time.
Breathing through my nose.
I know.
Okay, final thoughts. Well, go to my website, littleredantbooks.com, and this coloring page is there to download for the kids. Remember that what we're trying to do here is for all kids, kids that are challenged, kids that have all kinds of issues, or kids that just really want to know more about their families and learn more about themselves. And these are conversation starters. These books are made specifically to be conversation starters, so parents can read them to the kids, or the kids can read them themselves. My grandkids have been reading them to me now. I test them with my 5 and 7-year-olds, and they've unraveled a whole bunch of issues. Like now I have to do this whole thing on ancestry because now they want to know all about their history, which is really great. So, I mean, this is a 5 and a 7-year-old. They want to know where their family came from. And I think it's wonderful because there's so many wonderful stories we're reaching to them, and they're learning all about their great-great-grandparents. It's wonderful. It's great for conversation starters. So check it out. And if you are someone that wants to be part of the advisory board, you don't need any specific credentials. Just you'll go to the contact page and sign up, and we'll be contacting you. Also, I mention one more thing. I have been reading these books on Storytime. It's on the YouTube channel, Dr. Jonette, and she's a wonderful lady. She's a emergency room doctor in New York, dealing with COVID and all kinds of things. And she's writing right now. She's writing a book on COVID emergency doctors. But what she does, and this is something that anyone that's written their own book might want to do, is she tapes and she plays on her show books by authors that have illustrated them or have done their own work on them. So that's going to be on February 12th at 3:00 in the afternoon on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it today, Stacey. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Fern. And if you want to send me the link also on that YouTube channel for February 12th, please feel free to do that, because I'll definitely make sure that we, get that on there as well.
Great.
All right, I'm turning it over to the Lee family. So I'll let you guys decide who wants to go first.
So it was a great afternoon here. And I guess the big takeaway is hopefully this will help everyone sort of appreciate sort of what Kids Read Local is striving to do, and also help everyone sort of get to know us, all of us, a little bit more, everyone who is here, and check out some of our works. So I think those are my biggest hopes from this great afternoon we've been having.
Yeah, me too. You guys have been amazing. And, I really hope that people do realize there's so much local talent, and you guys have incredible stories. You have incredible journeys. And I agree with you, David, definitely. We need to just make sure that we're, looking right in our own backyard for the inspiration that's going to bring us along on the next phase of our journey. So go ahead, Laura, I guess you're in the middle.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for having us. Our website is infomajors.square.site, which the link will be in the video, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
And yeah, it was really a great pleasure to be here.
Oh, it was wonderful having you. Thank you so much for being here. And Sam, you get to take it home.
Thank you. First for having all of us, and I want to say one more time, our group is to celebrate the local creativity. So, so there are a lot of books that are published by local author. They are very interesting. We all come from a different background, and we write our story with our own works. And if you read some book, they may have a outside editor to edit it. But these books, we write it with our own works. So that's the unique part of it. So you can support us by going to our website, take a look at our books, and you can also get one if you are interested, and then give us some feedback or review. That will be very helpful, and that will keep us going. And thank you very much for having us.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for highlighting the diversity that we do have in this community. And I hope you guys out there are giving them likes and follows, clicking their links, buying their books, really supporting this. This has just been an amazing journey. And I'm so honored that all of you chose to be on the show. I know it's normally about special needs, and it kind of really focuses in on that. But I think that really everybody has their own special need. I mean, we all have something, and you guys, by writing about it, by bringing it to the forefront, by exploring those emotions, exploring how those worlds kind of come together, do support it through acceptance, through, your journeys just in general. So I just want to thank you all for being here and being part of our community. And I look forward to continuing this dialogue and having you guys back on as maybe highlighting your actual projects and really being able to go really in depth. But this was just nice to get, a little bit of a taste of, what's going on in your network. I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. I just want to make sure that people in Shrewsbury and around New England really know about this, because you guys are just creating a huge, huge net of just positivity and creativity, and just bringing people to the next level in their journeys and really being able to share that with others. And I mean, we've learned, if we haven't learned anything from COVID, it's, it's all about our journeys, all about our personal stories. At the end of the day, that's what defines all of us. So I want to thank you all for being on our show with Connections with Stacey Levine Lavely. And until next time, everyone, let's create some unity in the community. And thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great one.